Welcome to Nerd Sports, Angry Faithful. Today we're going to talk about the interesting sport that I saw. It's going to be the cups, the stacking cups. There's actually, a competition for stacking cups.
Yeah.
The guy that was on last week, Ever Sharp, he told me about it, and he was like, "Yeah, there's competitions for that." I was like, "Oh man, that doesn't surprise me." And I mean, they got that slap face competition and everything like that, but which is probably put on hold because the whole slap competition's all in Russia.
Yeah. So yeah. Cup stacking. Okay, yeah. Okay.
So sad that most of the that was still funny that
there's a lot of sporting federations, sporting committees out of Russia that are being banned from international competition.
Yeah. They're being banned from any kind of competition.
Yeah, well, any kind of competition. Well, I say international. I'm talking about anything outside the border.
Yeah, soccer.
FIFA, UEFA, Formula One terminated their contract with the Grand Prix of Russia.
Yeah.
I'm just like, whew, that's rough, bro.
Yeah, they pretty much snuffed anything that's coming from Russia right now. Even what's really sad is you're getting. I can't even see what the time limit is on this, so I don't care. They're getting cock blocked from all the.
Yeah, Pornhub. All the porn sites are blocking them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's even.
If you want to jerk off, you must jerk off to sister. Great success. See, Comrade Putin, he's a pain in my assholes. But anyway, so.
Oh, dude, did you? Off topic. One and only thing. We might get a little bit off topic later on, but anyways, they actually. I seen they have TikTok of Russian influence and everything. It's like they're have a gun to their head and they're reading a script. It is. I think Ray William Johnson was one that showed me that one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right, so moving into baseball news. Talks were supposed to resume today, but the first two series of the regular season have been canceled and will not be rescheduled. So depending on what the outcome of the talks are from today.
You know what? I know what it is. Go ahead and talk.
Okay, yeah, so depending on what the talks are from today, then we'll find out as to whether or not we have a first month of the season. See, yeah, it just got worse.
All right, try it now.
Okay, testing.
There we go.
Testing. See, I can barely.
You can barely hear yourself?
I can barely hear myself.
Oh, okay. Turn it down. All right. Okay.
Well, that's a little bit better.
Yeah, I had yours way up because Ever's really, really soft-spoken.
Okay.
I had to turn it up really loud.
So we'll find out whether or not we have any more regular season games canceled. When they cancel those games, they're not going to reschedule them, which means... Is that you?
Yeah.
Which means I'm probably looking at maybe getting a refund from the Texas Rangers because I bought tickets to take myself and my boys to go see the Angels the second weekend of the season, just because I wanted to see Mike Trout play. I wanted to see Shohei Ohtani play.
Yeah. Do you actually get a refund from that?
I think we do. Because, dude, I'm telling you what, ticket prices just for the opening series alone they're ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like a few years ago, I think it was 2013. No, it wasn't 13. It was. It might have been 2013. I went to my dad and I. We went to go opening weekend because the Rangers hosted opening day weekend at their old ballpark, and the Red Sox were in town, and I wanted to go see the Red Sox play, It was the first chance, I mean, we didn't want to go to opening day because the tickets where we were sitting, opening day, were 120 apiece. The following day, they were 35.
Damn.
Yeah, and it's just because it's a premium, premium date.
Yeah, like going to Vegas on the weekend, prices are really high, but if you go during the week, it's really, really cheap.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So when and any time like with the way that the Rangers do business, it's kind of wonky because anytime you get a large market team like the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, or any of the big market teams, right? Where you get the teams that have money to spend.
Did we talk about that fight at the Duke? Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So, but premium games, they're called premium games, right? The ticket prices go up, and then anytime they're playing anybody else, the tickets are a little bit more affordable. But I don't know, man. Rob Manfred has no business being the commissioner of baseball. None. Zero. He's either his nicknames have become Man Clown or Man Fraud.
Yeah, because right now they're trying to get a minimum salary increase.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not because they're trying to get their own pockets padded. I'm talking about the players, but they're looking out for the players that come after them. The minor league baseball season has not been locked out, so the minor leaguers are going to start on time, and they're going to have a full season. Because the owners, the major league owners, it doesn't affect them. The minor leagues are simply there to develop players and get players ready for the major leagues.
Okay, yeah, I was about to ask that.
So, while you may from time to time have major league players playing in AAA, and it's usually there for like rehab starts or they get sent back down to figure something out before they come back up.
They get the yips. Club.
Yeah, they get the yips. So, I'm just kind of sitting there going, man, and just, I mean, players are coming out. Mike Trout almost never comments on anything on social media. And he kind of went off a little bit. And everybody's like, wow, when Mike Trout says anything, you better listen because you know that he's passionate about it, right? But, it's, I just, we need baseball. I need baseball. The fans in this country, in this world for that matter, we need baseball back. And the owners made something to the tune of like $42 billion over the last couple of years. Okay, revenues have been up.
Yeah, and this is going to just knock them down.
Well, it's not going to knock them down. It's just because the ownership groups are fucking greedy. They don't want to increase the league minimum. Because, I mean, I think there's something to the tune of like 16% of all of the major league players make about $100,000 a year. Now, granted, you're going to have those people, I know a few, where they think, they'll tell you nobody's worth $32 million a year. And I completely and wholeheartedly agree. I remember seeing a graphic somewhere that every day that the lockout extends past the opening day, Garrett Cole loses like $230-something million, or $230-something thousand a day. Max Scherzer will lose like $160-something thousand a day. And I'm like, that's insane. Free agency has gotten way out of hand, way out of control. So to a degree, I side with the owners in the fact that there's no reason why we should have to pay these guys that much. I mean, and I think that baseball needs a salary cap like the NFL does. And it creates great levels of parity, so to speak, amongst the NFL teams. I think baseball needs to do the same thing. Now, they're wanting to expand the playoff format for baseball to a 16-team postseason. I don't like that idea, because all you're doing is just handing out participation trophies at this point.
Yeah, and that's to the degree of you're not going to have like a fully great team after that. You're just basically putting to the point where if something goes wrong, you can only blame the players and the staff.
Yeah, I mean they're even talking about instituting an international draft. Now, baseball draft now, it's mostly for domestic players, and then you get your international signings through scouts or whatever, and then they go into this like pool where the teams can bid on them, kind of a thing, right? Especially if they're coming out of Japan or Korea. Because if you sign a Major League Baseball contract from either one of those two countries, then you lose your status as a professional in that in your home country, kind of a thing. It's weird the way it works, like because the clubs that the players play for in Korea and Japan own that player, and so the teams they want. Yeah, I mean you hear about these large signings for like Shohei Ohtani. Okay, his team. I forget what team he played for in Japan, but a big part of the contract that he signed went towards compensating his club for buying out his contract. But I think he was like part of the Tokyo Dragons or something like that. I can't remember, but I mean, they're talking about an international draft, specifically for places
You
like
said Japan, right?
Yeah, for like Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic. They have baseball academies, right? They have baseball schools. You go to school to learn, but then, I mean, the entire purpose of that school's existence is to teach baseball, right? Because in a lot of cases, baseball is the only way to get off these islands. So,
I don't think I even can pronounce that word.
But baseball's international market, that means, yeah, I mean, it's the way for players outside the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. They're acquired by Major League Baseball clubs. They haven't received a great deal of attention in media during the ongoing collective bargaining agreement negotiations. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you look at players like Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Fernando Tatis Jr., Ronald Acuna Jr., Juan Soto. They all signed as amateurs when they were teenagers.
Okay, here's the team.
Flip your screen around. Hokkaido.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hokkaido fighters or ham fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, they signed these contracts when they were teenagers. They signed as amateurs, right? And the overall impact that the international talent has been huge on the modern game, right? But MLB, I mean, Major League Baseball is becoming an increasingly international sport, right?
Well, it's always been an international sport, only because if you think about it,
not always. Now you've got your Mexican leagues, you've got your Venezuelan leagues. They play a lot of winter ball down in Venezuela. I think Peru has a league. It's a small one. Colombian player. I mean, there's a lot of South American and Latin players. There's a lot of Caribbean players. There's a lot of European players. We've got some players that come over from like Australia.
Yeah, and the whole reason why they love that sport is because we actually played it, a little bit of it when we were in World War II.
Yeah, well, I mean, even now, Major League Baseball, for a couple of years there, they had their London series.
Yeah.
But
I mean, WWE does it now too.
Yeah, but this isn't scripted. But I'm not saying that they're not athletes. And don't give me this, wrestling's not real? Oh, my God. I have a great-great-grandmother that would argue with anybody that wrestling was not fake. I mean, she legitimately
I did too.
She was like, oh, my God, that stuff is so real.
That's the only reason why I'm actually interested in wrestling is because my dad's grandmother, to took him to wrestling events when he was a kid.
Now, it's funny because Ronda Rousey, just to get off track for a second, Ronda Rousey made her SmackDown debut last week, and she's now on the road to WrestleMania, right? I'm watching the NASCAR race today.
Wrestler.
She was, and then she dropped out for a while. She had a kid. She did a lot of Twitch streaming for gaming. Like, she's a huge gamer nerd, dude.
Yeah. I just don't find her attractive. I don't know.
Somebody does.
Yeah.
But I was watching the NASCAR race today, and Danica Patrick was the guest commentator today up in the booth, right? Mm-hmm. And somehow or another, Ronda Rousey came up, right, during the race. And Danica Patrick, all 5'1.5", because she brought that up today, all 5'1.5" of her, even though Ronda Rousey, and these are her words, not mine, is past her prime, she still would not want to run into her in a dark alley.
Well, yeah.
But I'm like, the fact that Ronda Rousey decided to take a break from Twitch gaming and streaming to come back and wrestle for a little while, mm-hmm. I'm just like, man, come on, seriously. Some of the moves, like Ken Shamrock would flip the script. Like, he actually snapped a guy's ankle. You know, that ankle lock that he does, mm-hmm. or used to do? He, like, legitimately ended a guy's WWE career doing that.
Yeah, because he's actually...
he was an MMA. He was a UFC champion.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
And he just fucking lost his temper one day, just snapped. And I'm just like, because you can't fake or Photoshop live somebody's foot pointing the wrong direction. It just shit doesn't work like that. But the international draft would have fairly more allocated talent.
Did they do the draft for this year?
No. The draft, the baseball draft, I think doesn't take place until.
I thought you said it was in March. I know. Football is in April.
Yeah, I know it's early on in the year. July 11th through the 13th. That's when it was last year. They haven't. Right now, they're talking July 17th through the 19th.
No, the NFL draft is in April.
Right. Yeah. Well, but the MLB draft, they're looking at usually. I was wanting to say that it was in the middle of the year, so it's generally the same week or weekend in July every year.
Why do they do it in July? Most
because a lot of times that's when a lot of these high school players that get drafted are done with school.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, you get a lot of these guys that they'll sign contracts if they don't declare for a college and go play collegiate ball, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I mean, college ball is just amazing to watch. It's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do without a lot of the bat flips and a lot of the showmanship that the college game has got nowadays. But
so is it like that one part in basketball when they're doing the what was it?
The psych outs?
No, river dance.
Right? Yeah. No. I mean, you get a lot of these kids that'll sit there and they'll pimp a home run, dude. They'll just murder a baseball. And they'll walk to first base, or they'll flip their bat. I'm like, bat flips, I'm okay with to a degree. Just don't go too over the top. There's a kid last week. It kind of went viral on Barstool Sports and Twitter. He pimped the shit out of this home run. And he carried his bat and walked. Took his sweet-ass time getting to first base. And the ball had already cleared the fence before he even got halfway down the baseline. And he just tossed his bat, just flipped it right there in front of his dugout, and then just kind of trotted all the way around the base paths. And I'm like, while the rules don't say that there's anything illegal about that, and a few episodes back, probably about 20 or 30 episodes back, I had said something about unwritten rules being bullshit, right? But I'm going to amend that statement. There are some unwritten rules that need to be adhered to. Like, don't showboat. If, especially if you're at that level, act like you've been there. Act like you've been there. Don't show off. Don't give that pitcher a reason to bean you or bean another one of your teammates, because you're just putting them at risk. Because, a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, it don't matter where it hits you, fucking hurts. And if a pitcher is not that accurate and he decides he's going to let one fly, dude, I really hope that it was worth it, because if you or your teammate gets hurt or catches one into the face, that's it. You're done for a while. So it's just, to me, the bat flip needs to go away, or the bat flip needs to be regulated. But, and then umpires are making cases for them to be replaced. I think if you take the human element out of umpiring or officiating a game, the sport itself is going to suffer. I really do. I think that umpires, especially ones that are going to be behind the plate calling balls and strikes, need to have a better understanding of the strike zone, and they need to know, and they need to prove that, not only with on-field performance throughout the course of the entire season, but they need to, they need to go to refresher courses and things like that during the off season. They need to make themselves ready, just like the players do. If the players are expected to perform at their peak, then the umpires, line judges, everybody, all of the game's officials need to be able to perform at the top level, and that's being able to call a game with impartiality, and they need to not make the game about them, because you got people like Angel Hernandez who makes the game about him. Hands down, probably one of the worst, if not the worst, umpire to ever call a Major League Baseball game. He filed a racial discrimination lawsuit against Major League Baseball because he was denied the opportunity to call a World Series. Well, you get to call a World Series by being one of the best officials in the game during the regular season. He's not been, nor has he ever been.
He just wants to be a little bitch and wants to.
Oh, dude, he hides behind that victim mentality. He's like, oh well, I'm a Latino, and you see predominantly white umpires in the World Series. Like, well,
Try being better.
Yeah, just try not being a tool.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of intricacies. I cannot say that word today. The CBA for this year is very complicated. God, intricacies. There we go. See, I said it. There's just so many ins and outs and nooks and crannies that are involved with the CBA talk. But there's been no, and I've been watching. Twitter today, and this was at 2:06 Eastern Time. Major League Baseball and the Major League Baseball Players Association resumed talks Sunday in an attempt to reach a new collective bargaining agreement. The meeting took place in New York City. According to reports, the MLBPA, which is the Players Association, was expected to provide a counter proposal. Where did it go? To the league 5 days after MLB's offer on the final day of negotiations, which took place in Jupiter, Florida. Lead negotiators for each side last met on Thursday for an informal 90-minute conversation covering a range of topics. Per a report from the Associated Press, Players Association may be open to a 14-team postseason format, which under the current condition, that the higher seeded team being the best of five series, or begin the best of five series with a ghost win. What? That doesn't make any damn sense to me. A ghost win? What is all that about? MLB has already rejected such a concept, making that possibility appear highly unlikely. The 14-team format baseball originally proposed offers significant advantages to division winners and provides incentives to win at every level of the bracket. In an effort to compromise, MLB accepted a 12-team format after the discussions of formats included a ghost game. MLB made clear that the ghost game raises serious issues and is not a viable path forward, which I totally agree with. Like, a ghost game? Seriously? I guess like handing a higher seed team a win? Like, no. Why? Why would we do that?
It's just the whole...
Just give them a bye week.
That just seems like
okay.
the
So
whole,
if you go to a 12-team format, and you're the top seed, you don't have to play in the fucking wild card round. You move to the divisional round.
Like I was trying to say, it sounds like that whole 7 ending thing again during COVID.
Yeah. With the doubleheaders.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Under the baseball's proposal for a 14-team postseason field, the division winner with the best record in the regular season would get a bye into the division series. The other 2 division winners would have the advantage of choosing their opponents and hosting all 3 potential games in a best-of-3 round. After the 2 division winners choose their opponent, the team with the better record between them would have first choice. Then the wild card team with the best record would play the remaining team. And with the higher seed hosting all 3 games, all opponent selections would take place in a televised show. All right, so basically what they're talking about is that the number 1 seed with the best record in that league, they get a bye. They don't have to play in the wild card. They can move on to divisional, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a best-of-5 series. Okay? The team with the next best record, or the 2 remaining division winners, get to pick their opponents. So the team with the best record of the remaining 2 divisional winners gets to pick which team they play, and they have the option of hosting that game. Which to me, okay, that makes sense, but we don't need to make it a 14-team playoff. Because playoffs used to be 8 teams, 1 winner, right?
Okay.
So if you expand it to 12 teams, fine. You're diluting the play. All you're really doing at that point is just expanding baseball and making it to where you play it longer, and we'll start having World Series consistently within the month of November.
Should we be bringing out Bad Touch Bob Ross?
No.
Okay.
No, because because here's the thing. All right, having coached Little League baseball, I understand that the human body, has its limits. And I understand the torque and the punishment that shoulders and elbows take from throwing a baseball. Okay, which is why anytime when we moved up into kid pitch, my pitchers only threw 2 pitches. The 4-seam fastball and the 2-seam fastball, because that provides the least amount of punishment on your arm. Because you're going to get these 12, 13, 14-year-olds that are out there trying to learn how to throw a curveball or trying to learn how to throw a changeup. And it takes more effort and it's more wear and tear on your elbow to throw those off-speed pitches because of the arm slot and because of the release points.
Would throwing the fastball create
it's a more fluid, consistent motion as opposed to trying to pull something back.
Well, what I was trying to get at is throwing the fastball. Would it give it train you better to do a curveball a little bit easier in the long run?
Yes and no, but not everybody can throw a curveball. There are some professionals out there the curveball is not part of their repertoire. You get a lot of these 2 and 3, sometimes 4 pitch, pitchers. They'll have a 2-seam, a 4-seam. They'll have a breaking ball, and they'll have it'll either be a slider or it'll be a curveball of some kind, but it won't be a true to form. It'll be so you'll have a variation of the fastball, which is the slider.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. or you'll have a breaking ball, which either is a slider or a variation of a curveball. But you have pitchers out there that they live and breathe curveball, right? And you've got your knuckleballers, which is very, very. I think there's 3 knuckleballers in Major League Baseball right now. Knuckleballs, catchers hate them, hitters hate them, pitchers love to throw them if they can know how, because they've got 0 spin on them, and nobody knows where they're going to go. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I've heard it said, because I've tried to teach myself how to throw a knuckleball before, and I almost had it down, but to throw a knuckleball successfully, imagine standing out in that hallway and trying to throw an actual honest-to-God pitch. Like you're in the windup and everything. You're either going to bring your arm way out here for a 3/4 arm slot, or you're going to be a full arm slot delivery up here. You're either going to hit the wall or you're going to hit the ceiling. Or with a knuckleball, you literally, it's like this. You're gripping the ball like that, and you basically shot put it, right? And it just dances all over the place as it's getting to the plate. It's a very hard pitch to throw, but if you can master it, you can pitch into your 40s. You know, if you're consistent with it.
I'm trying to do it myself,
Dude,
and I don't.
Throwing a baseball without any spin is difficult.
Oh yeah,
very difficult. But I don't like the idea of expanding the playoff format just simply due to the fact that it just waters down the product. And it just gives these lower market teams...
It's already long enough. I mean...
it's a 6-month-long season, and then with the 8 teams that we have, okay, it's... with the way that the format is now, you've got your wild card play-in game, and then you've got your 2 divisional series.
It's still 2 out of 3, right?
No, with your wild card playing game, it's a one-game winner take all.
Okay.
The winner of the wild card game advances to the postseason. Okay, and I'm talking about the truest form of the postseason, where you are actually playing a series. You've got your divisional series. Okay, you got your the winner of the wild card game plays the highest seed team, right? And then you've got your other 2 divisional winners. They play each other. So you've got 2 divisional rounds. Then you move into the winner of your divisional round moves into the championship league series for either the American or the National League, and then the winner of the league championship series moves into the World Series.
Okay.
The thing I love about baseball is the fact that when it's here, it's nirvana. I mean, it gives you a constant, something that you can depend on. You can open up your phone, or you can go look in the paper, or you can log into a website somewhere, and you can look at the box scores from the previous day. We have all this access to the game as it's happening during the course of the regular season. Okay? And then with the length of the postseason being what it is now, it makes it that much more romantic, that much more meaningful. Okay? If you water that down by adding the number of teams that are going to be able to come in and play, you're looking at running the risk of, yes, you're giving all these other players and all these other markets that have not traditionally been to the postseason a chance to experience postseason play. But that really should fall on the front office and be their responsibility and their responsibility alone for not going after the players and the talent and making the roster moves necessary to get your team in a position to qualify for the playoff format as it exists now.
I think it's just one of those things they're trying to get it to where that whole thinking of everybody needs to play and get their chance.
There's been several players that have talked about participation trophies, and that's not what this game needs. I think as far as the talent is concerned, as far as the compensation for that talent, we need a salary cap, because what the game of baseball is becoming. Okay, it's becoming unmanageable, all right, or unaffordable for normal, everyday people like you and me. We've got to save up for a couple of weeks to be able to afford to go to one game.
Yeah.
You know, if
I honestly think that those people that are arguing for the participation are the ones that grew up nowadays in the time frame to where they didn't even keep score because they didn't want to feel anybody to be left out.
Yeah, and that was the thing too. Like whenever I coached t-ball, we didn't keep score, dude. That was never discussed in the coaches' meetings leading up to the season. So once the season started, I'm over there keeping score, and the umpire's like, "Yeah, we don't keep score here." I'm like, "What? What? That is so wholly un-American. There should be no ties in baseball, ever. I mean, ever, never, ever be a tie in baseball. Fuck that. There is a winner, and then there is a loser. Now, depending on your perspective, there's no such thing as a loss. There's either a victory or a lesson. Me, I prefer to look at it as, hey, if I'm on the lower end, if I don't get to reap the benefits of winning, then yeah, I'm going to learn lessons and I'm going to take from that, and I'm going to try to come at you next year even harder. But
okay, on the defense of that though, I mean, you can't really. I mean, t-ball, you just put the ball on that thing and they hit it. Right?
It doesn't matter. Because at that point, t-ball is your introduction to baseball. You have to build a good foundation for competition, mechanics, and understanding of the rules.
That was my only defense of that. I was like, I mean, the pitcher doesn't even do anything. So
no. I mean, granted, you've got a bunch of 3, 4, 5, 6-year-olds that are standing around picking their fucking nose and looking at damn clouds half the game. I get that. But there has to be. I mean, we have softened. We heard it on Cleared Hot the other day. This nation is a nation full of pussies.
Yeah.
Okay? We are pussifying our kids to the point where.
I think even said something like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're pussifying our nation to the point that if even one alpha male comes out of the group, he's going to be so ostracized for not being inclusive that he may just convert to beta, or he'll assume the identity of an alpha but not know truly what it means to be an alpha, and then us old farts that are sitting back on our fucking porches in our rocking chairs with a loaded shotgun full of rock salt and a fucking cup of coffee go and stay off my grass, you know. I mean, we're harnessing our inner, command sergeant majors.
I still like the phrase, since ever said it, is, well, ever didn't say it, but it implied like back in the day is, this might sound strange, but this coming from a man that voluntarily has sex with other men, that's gay.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. Wasn't ready for that one. Coming from a man who has voluntarily had sex with other men, that's gay. Okay. And to add to the entendre there, it's yeah, I can get behind that statement. Yeah, right. So, we need a rim shot button. But
is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Oh.
Add another wrinkle to that frontal cortex there. You learned something today. I'm helping. Do
you want to move on to NASCAR now?
Yeah.
Because you can stay all day.
Yeah, I know. Just let me wrap this up here. Bottom line, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, until the day that they conclude and they have an actual agreement in place and we start seeing teams start to gather for training camp and or just say, fuck it, we're going to move into the regular season and get things going. Until we hear those two all-important words, play ball, both sides need to pull their heads out of their asses. They need to save this game or it's going to end up dying a horrible, writhing, agonizing death. Because you have passive fans now that have started to come into the game and started to learn about the game and appreciate it for what it is. And you people, and I'm talking about people from both ends of both sides of the table, are taking a collective piss on the game, and you're going to kill it.
Yeah.
Fucking knock it off. Grow up and just play. That's all there is to it. Your owners, you're going to get your money. Don't worry about it. So what if you earn $2 billion less? Or so what if you earn $500,000 less per fucking club? Who fucking cares? You're putting butts in the seats. People are walking home with souvenirs, either home runs or foul balls. Kids are making memories, and you're instilling a love for a game that is going to be around for as long as this country is alive. Because kids that are sitting in those stands are going to be the same people that are going to grow up playing this game, and they're going to park their asses in the dugouts, and they're going to be on that field playing, entertaining a new generation of future players. Think about the game instead of your fucking pocketbooks. Think about the fans instead of yourselves, and let's get this thing going. Now we're moving to NASCAR.
Okay, my question is what's running in DNF?
Running is they're still considered on the track, where they've run the number of laps that was allocated for the full length of the event. DNF did not finish.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So the races today was from Las Vegas. Las Vegas yesterday, the Xfinity Series race actually had a delay. They had a red flag which stopped the race for snow. It snowed in fucking Las Vegas yesterday.
That's hilarious.
And it was like 70-something degrees the day before.
Well, that was the same thing that happened yesterday at us. It was like 82 degrees.
Yeah, it was 82 something. It was 80.
Was saying
it was 88 degrees yesterday.
Yeah, it was 88 degrees yesterday, and today
it was like
42.
Yeah, they projected the high as 61.
This bipolar shit's fucking for the birds.
Dude, we didn't even see 45 degrees today.
No. I mean, when I got in my car to come over here, my car does that alarm that, hey, it's 39 degrees.
Yeah, possible ice.
Yeah. So
the weather today was pretty great.
I'm just glad 42 is still running.
Yeah. So Alex Bowman, the driver of the number 48 Ally Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports, he won that race today. And dude, you know what? It was actually a really good race. I watched that entire race today, and with this new car that they've got, all the new technology, they got a sequential gearbox, or sequential gear shifter as opposed to the H pattern. Mm-hmm. You push up to go into reverse, and you can pull it down, go into neutral, and then you pull back to shift through the gears, right? Mm-hmm. Denny Hamlin, he runs the number 11
How do you go
FedEx
forward
car.
with the gears? You basically...
If you want to downshift, you go up.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically a slapstick.
Yeah.
You know, they pull back just like that. The stick always returns to center, but yeah. It's a sequential gearbox, and it's slotted. So if you time it just right, you can do an RPM shift to where you lift out of the throttle, shift, and you're back into it. You don't have to waste that extra time by engaging the clutch. Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense. It's the same thing with my car. My car has it.
Yeah. So Denny Hamlin,
They just now put that in? That's so weird, because mine
we're talking, it's a manual transmission.
Yeah.
But, like with yours, like, you know, you've got the manual, and you can go up and you hit that button. It's the same concept, but it's not the same technology. The gear shifter, the gearbox that they've got in these cars now this year, Formula One and IndyCar have been running them for a few years now.
Yeah, that's how mine is, because I can switch it over to shift. I mean, I don't have like a clutch or anything like that, but I can just
this is a traditional manual transmission, but it's, you know, instead of having an H pattern where you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, okay.
But last year they only had 4 gears. This year they've got a 5th gear, and a lot of drivers are still trying to figure it all out. But this car provides for a lot of really great racing. Just the overall change to the car. It's allowed, because, you know, aerodynamics has always been a thing in this sport, but you really saw it kind of come into its own today, because side drafting used to be a thing where if you pull up next to a guy's rear quarter panel, you take the air off the back of his car just by being next to him, and it basically slows him down, and you can use that to get around him. Side drafting really wasn't a thing today at all. It was the first mile and a half track test for the new car, and it produced a really good racing product today. I mean, it was a very entertaining race to watch. Generally, I'm pretty happy anytime a Hendrick driver wins, but I was really happy to see Eric Bowman, or Alex Bowman rather, win today. And I was just I'm like, man, this is I'm happy with the direction that the sport's going, but there was it just so many different race strategies, pit strategies, 2 tires versus 4 tires, things like that, and ultimately it was a 2-tire call that Alex Bowman, his crew chief, made. Says, all right, we're only taking 2 right side tires, fill them full of fuel, 2 right side tires, and we're gone. Right? He restarted the race second, and they raced side by side, him and Kyle Larson, who's the defending series champion, who won last week in California. But Alex Bowman, there was a drag race. Yeah, I heard it too. I think there's a cat outside.
I heard that. I heard a couple of kids.
But they're better on me, no damn kids. Here I am. Look, I sound like an old fucking man, dude. Look better than me, no even kids outside. It's not the fact that it's 7 o'clock, almost 8 o'clock at night. It's the fact that it's fucking miserable outside.
Yeah.
Like, you're a parent. Keep your kid inside.
I mean, yesterday I was miserable. It was either the world ejaculating, the flowers ejaculating, or it was the candle. I can't do candles anymore, I guess.
Being nasal raped by the plants in this world.
Dude, it was my entire freaking face. I took like 3 or 4 antihistamines. I was popping like Pez.
I'm rewatching Family Guy again, and I think I'm on like season 18. Mm-hmm. And I love Seth MacFarlane's writing style, right? He's always like, there's an episode where Peter and Chris are doing yard work for Herbert, the pervert, mm-hmm. right? And they're and so both Chris and Peter start getting into a fight in Herbert's living room. He's like, "Is this really happening?" He's like, "You're awfully cocky there, kid. I hate cocky. Boo cocky. Boo cocky." I'm just like, I see what you did there,
I definitely see that.
I don't know why it made me think of that. I'm just like, okay, so when you said my entire face, I'm like, okay, so the plant kingdom is having a big bukkake party on your face.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome. Okay, so Alex Bowman won today's race. As far as the points are concerned right now, the standings, and I don't know if this has been updated as of today.
Can you just go to the next race and see if...
next race is going to be in Phoenix.
The Roof Morted? God, I'm butchering it. 500.
Yeah, hold on. Oh, please. All right, so the next race is the Roof Mortgage 500.
There we go. I don't know why I couldn't say that.
It's going to be held at Phoenix. It's going to be a 312-lap race. It's 312 miles. It's a mile-long track, obviously. They're going to have the spring race next week, and then they don't go back to Phoenix until the last race of the year for the championship race. Okay. It's going to be a good race. After Phoenix, they're going to go to Atlanta for the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500. And then Sunday, March 27th, they're going to be down in Austin at the Circuit of the Americas. It's a big road race. It's a 20-turn race course. 20 different turns. 68 laps, 231.88 miles. And if it's anything like last year's, it's going to be a god-awful shitty mess because last year's race should not have been run because it was pouring last year. I mean, there was a couple drivers that were like, yeah, somebody should have gotten killed out here today. Like Martin Truex Jr., who runs the number 19 Toyota Camry, Bass Pro Shop Toyota Camry for Joe Gibbs. He got out of the gas and started braking to enter a turn right there on the front, the start finish line. And because of all the rooster tails and spray behind these cars, the guy behind him couldn't see and hit him in the back at full speed and basically drove under him, lifted his car up off the ground. You could see footage of it.
Is it like that one moment in Rick and Morty where they're just like, oh yeah, and they get in the vehicle and it's like, oh,
I was not in control of that at all. Yeah. I mean, last year, but Circuit of the Americas race that they held at COTA last year, it was a cool experience for NASCAR. And it was a cool experience for the people in the Austin area because they're generally, I think there's an IndyCar or an F1 race that's down there, right? Because it's a Grand Prix track. So
and they run it for NASCAR?
Yeah, and they run NASCAR on it now. Because NASCAR wanted to introduce more road course races to the schedule. Because they're like, okay, we're trying to get away from the whole oval track thing, blah blah blah. But oval track is basically your bread and butter. But there's always been road course races on the schedule. Just last year there was a lot of them. See, that's one road race, and then
Okay. I can play it. I'm gonna play it.
Oh, the Rick and Morty thing. Maybe I don't deserve to live. Maybe I deserve to die.
It's one of those things. Anytime situation like that, I go to that.
Right. Let's see here. 4.
That's my go-to.
5, 6. There's like 6 road courses on the schedule this year. So but yeah, it's going to be a cool season. They're going back to Nashville again this year. Hopefully.
God damn fucking clickbait. Sorry. Me and my daughter were talking about this one guy, Emergency Awesome, how he gets everything wrong. And she's like, you need to make up a channel just going totally against that guy, head to head. I was like, because I've watched a couple of them, and I listened to and I asked you questions, and you know what you're talking about. I don't even think he knows that comic books actually exist. That's how bad his theories on in the.
Oh, you're talking about the dude, the always everything or anything? Oh,
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, always everything or something like that. Yeah.
Emergency Awesome.
Emergency Awesome. Yeah, I'm just like, oh, dude. And then he's always pimping his Spotify channel, which is shit. And he's like, oh, you've a chance to win a PlayStation 5 or the Infinity Saga Gauntlet box set, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, you're not going to give that shit away because you don't fucking have it.
Yeah.
You're doing it for clout.
Well, what's really sad is he has the numbers to actually do something like that.
He does, but I just... Like, we gave away our murder basket, right? Didn't we?
We did.
We did. Okay.
I still have to send it, though.
But in fact, we actually gave something tangible away. We didn't show a stock photo of this alleged item that you're going to enter to win. We had it right here on the table.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man.
I've figured out a way to actually...
Oh, did you see my new black rifle hat? Check that out.
Jesus. Hey, did you check out my nifty. Fucking hell. Fuck.
What?
I totally forgot to bring any of the coffee.
Oh, it's not.
But
like,
yeah, that's
it's
neat.
not like it, you know what? Just when you go down there tomorrow, just take it with you and just have them. Just leave it there.
Yeah.
Fine. See, problem solved. Look.
Oh, but by the way, did you see my nice little Black Rifle coffee axe?
Yeah, I was there the day you won it.
You know what? I didn't get my coin, and I called up, and I found out why.
Why?
Because the whole shit show that happened, what did I say, like February?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, February 1st. The coin wasn't set up on that. So my next order, my coin will probably be there. I hope I get the Texas coin. How much stock do you have in it?
4 stocks right now.
Yeah, I have 4 stocks too. Yeah.
I'm like, bro, yeah.
I might have to cash mine out because I haven't been working for a week.
Yeah.
So it sucks, but you know, and I'm trying to get all this stuff done. But anyways, so what else on NASCAR or is it?
That's basically about it.
Now we can talk about the thing that happened, that movie. That was the whole reason why I sent you that emoji.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet, so don't spoil it. I haven't.
No. I'm not spoiling it for you. But I'm telling you, okay. It's not the movie that he took aspects, and this is talking about the Batman. I'm not going to spoil any of it. But he took aspects of Batman Year One and Long Halloween,
Yeah.
and he made it work really good.
Yeah, everybody who I know who has seen that movie absolutely loved it.
It was fucking fantastic.
And nobody was like, oh, it's that Twilight bitch. Like, everybody says he did a good job.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, fine.
I mean, he really didn't even say that much. It was all like facial emotion and everything like that. He said a
Yet
couple
one
of
more
things.
example that he's a better actor
Yeah.
than Kristen Stewart. He has more facial emotions than Kristen Stewart. He'll
Yeah.
just empty bottle of Gatorade has more facial expressions than Kristen Stewart.
The Wall drying has more special.
Bad touch, Bob.
Has more special.
Yeah.
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 But no, it
A
was
runny case of fiery diarrhea is a better love story than Twilight. I said it. Fight me. Change my mind.
two lesbians that ate Taco Bell that are.
No, that's just a personification of the fact that you shouldn't run with the scissors and you shouldn't scissor with the runs.
Yeah.
Oh, super fans. Our super fan. She just dry heaved. She just dry heaved a little bit right there.
Yeah.
That caused a dry heave.
But no, it was. I mean, even all the stuff in the movie, and if you, I hope I don't ruin it for this point. But him using the grappling hook.
Yeah.
If you look, he actually had like a steel bar right there, to where it was almost connected to like a holster and everything, to where it wasn't like it was connected to where
So it was very
like
raw. It was very primitive.
It wouldn't rip off his arm.
Yeah.
It was really if all the stuff was actually real, you could use it.
Yeah.
I mean, even the Batmobile, if I can figure out all the stuff on it, which that
it kind of looks like a late '60s, early '70s model Camaro or Firebird.
Well, it kind of looks like a souped up Bat of the 1966 Batmobile ish, if you look at it that way. But no, it just really.
Oh. The newer Batmobile was a 1949 Mercury convertible. That doesn't make sense. Okay. His is a 1970 Plymouth Barracuda with a Ford Triton V10 engine added on.
Damn.
Yeah, because I'm looking at a screenshot of it now. Yeah, that does. It looks very beefy.
I mean, even the sound of it. I mean, if you take out the jet engine and everything, it just sounds like it's going to ruin your day.
Let me see here.
But no,
When to take a restroom break during the Batman movie, because it's, almost 3 hours long?
Yeah. Damn near
back when the set photos of the Batmobile were first introduced, Andrew Collins at Jalanopic, anyways, pointed out that it seems to be based on a 1970 Plymouth Barracuda with a Ford Triton V10 engine mounted in the back. So it's a rear-mounted engine. It's not quite a perfect match for the Barracuda, as the actual prop car is likely a custom body, but the resemblance is pretty close.
What year?
1970.
Hold on, let me check this out. 1970. Images. Well, I know the cuffs in the body, and it kind of.
Although the Batman's take on the DC Comics character isn't exactly an origin story, it's still set in the early years of Bruce Wayne being Batman. The Batmobile backs that up. Bruce Wayne could have very well have already owned a 70 Barracuda and done some customization to create the Batmobile. It's not just something that looks cool as a car, even though it is. It's also a subtle way in which the Batman reinforces its setting and the mindset of Pattinson's version of Bruce Wayne. So, yeah.
Was Plymouth
Plymouth was a
Dodge?
Mopar. Well, it was a division of Dodge.
Okay, that makes sense then, because
Actually, I think Dodge.
Does it have a Hemi in it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, the Barracudas had a Hemi.
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah. But the fact that he slapped a Triton V10 engine on the back, it made it a rear engine mount. Yeah.
I don't know though, because the exhaust up the front too. I think it was like 2 engines.
Again, heavily customized.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the one they have, the running ones, was like 4 of them were made. One of them was the front end, the little stock part on the front, the barricade, was made out of fiberglass, while the other ones had like a steel front end because of the actual jump.
Right.
That was the only reason why they needed that. But dude, just watch the.
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna go watch it probably this week. So I'm gonna get down there I'm gonna get there Wednesday night. Thursday night, this guy is gonna go see Journey. Oh yeah,
it's still awesome.
So it'll probably be like a Friday. I don't want to say Friday during the day. Probably a Saturday matinee kind of a show. Just because, 1, I don't want to fight the fucking crowds. 2, they're already charging more for this particular movie as far as ticket prices. They're averaging $1 to $2 more per ticket just for this movie.
Yeah, I paid like $10 for it on a matinee.
Yeah, I'm like, really?
Yeah. But still, oh my God, it was that good.
But yeah, I took the boys to go see Uncharted again. Well, I'd seen it for the second time, but I took my boys to go see Uncharted. I liked that movie. I really do, and it was even better the second time.
I'll check it out eventually.
If you don't have any backstory on it, at least read the synopsis for the game.
That was another thing that came out that was on. Well, it's on all of them now. The Kingsman.
Yeah, The Kingsman. Yeah, dude, I liked that one.
Dude, that was really good.
Yeah, I had my boys watch that with me. The last weekend that I had them. Just because before I let them watch The Kingsman and then the sequel, I want them to have a backstory as to what this organization is. Mm-hmm. You know, so yeah, that was a really good movie. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. But that's the show for today.
Yeah, we got our sports and we got our nerd in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that.
Yeah. Ever redecorated a little bit on our thing. He put that up. He's like, "Why don't you have this up? You need to sell these merchandises." Because I'm horrible at my advertisement. We don't have that many shirts left, anyways. But he's a pretty cool kid. But anyways,
As somebody who voluntarily has sex with other men, that's gay. Wow.
you never watched Venture Brothers?
Yes, I have, but it has been a long time.
Season 2, last episode.
Okay.
That's where I got it from.
Okay.
Anyways, I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton.
And thank you faithful for watching. And this is Nerd Sports. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeet.